Hello again. Here we are, Saturday, April 15th, and we are about 5 days after my surgery. You guys just saw my video, hopefully. If you didn't, you can see it as the previous video on my YouTube channel, where I shared my experience of surgery day, having gastric sleeve surgery. I weighed in that morning at 313 pounds. And this whole week has been quite the experience. Not a bad one, just different than normal. But I have been on a liquid diet since Saturday evening. I had to be on full liquids the day before surgery. First of all, I want to say right off the bat, Virtual Health in South Jersey was amazing. They did, the nurses, the surgeon, everybody that helped me that day. I don't think I've ever had that many nurses in my room so often in a hospital experience. So Virtual Health, big shout out to them. Dr. Ashalonu, who was my surgeon, did an amazing job. You know, when I came right out, one of the first things they said, he was like, I don't want you resting. I don't want you bedridden. I want you up and active and moving around to get all that gas out of my body. This is one of the biggest things that I was dreading about this surgery was the gas pain. And I felt it. I didn't feel it where I thought I was going to feel it. I heard a lot of people experiencing it where they had it in their collarbones or their upper chest. The gas pain was mostly in my belly. It was just a lot of pressure. And you could see it in my face when I was in the bed. It was just like, anytime you moved, it was just painful. So the doctor said I had to wait 3 hours after the surgery in order to get up and start walking. And the second I was able to, I had the nurses get me out of that bed and get me moving. And I was moving as much as I could. Any opportunity I can get out of that hospital bed and start walking and doing laps on the floor, I took it. Probably about 2 or 3 times a day. 2 or 3 times in that one initial day. Probably about 4 times. And I would do it like in the middle of the night, like 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. One tough thing about the hospital experience is that because the nurses are in the room so often and the beeping and the other distractions, it's hard to get a good night's sleep. Instead of sleeping, I would get up and walk whenever I was either woken up or anything. I had blood taken very early in the morning. The following morning, the thing that I noticed, and I even say it in my video, when I get up right away, I felt better, or I felt less pain. Anytime, any opportunity I had to even just stand up and hold on to my IV pole, I would take that opportunity. Everybody's experience is different. This was my experience, but the hard part I've had, you're going to notice me like itching my nose a lot or doing this. I have allergies. My nose itches, the outside of my nose itches, so I always do this. Apologize in advance. After the day of my surgery, I was told that I had to, naturally finish my cups of water, which were these little medicine cups, which are 2 tablespoons. I had to do about 25 of these just to be able to get discharged the following day. Not protein or anything else, just water. One of the challenges that I've had since coming home is learning what feeling full is, because I have a lot of feelings going on after the surgery. I can't tell what is gas pain. I can't tell what is something being sore from the surgery. And I can't tell, what's being full. And I still, to this day, am wondering what am I feeling for certain things. Because as soon as I take that sip, I feel pressure in this area here in my chest. And, that could be just me gulping too much water. Even though these cups are as small as they are, it's very easy. You're not supposed to gulp. The point of these cups is to sip. And I've had a common occurrence where I gulp too much water and I feel the pressure instantly in my chest. So what the point of these is to help you sip, and here I am spilling it all over me. Sunday, tomorrow, is my first day of the second phase of post-op, which is the soft food stage or puree food stage, where I can finally escape just drinking liquids. Phase 1, the liquid stage, has been challenging. I know they give you the option of broths or popsicles. I had a really hard time with broths in general. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the salt. I don't think it's the salt because I usually like a lot of salt. There was just a taste to it that I couldn't enjoy. And I know they say your palate changes because I thought I used to like broth, or at least I liked adding broth to things, which is probably it. But broth by itself, to me, was awful. The chicken, the vegetable, the beef grew on me. I had it once. Actually, I had it twice. The beef broth was brutal because it had an aftertaste, which did not sit well with me. So I ended up just stopping the broths altogether and focusing on protein drinks. I found one I really liked. It was Vital Proteins. I'll show a photo of it here. Vital Proteins lemonade flavor collagen peptides. I've noticed with a lot of the protein drinks, there's a funky taste to it. It's almost like you could taste the protein. I know some of them are even labeled unflavored. There's just a funky taste that I notice right off the bat that I just don't like on certain flavors. The lemon has really been tolerable for me. I make sure to at least get that protein in on the clear liquid stage, and it's been mostly water, Crystal Light, decaffeinated tea, and lemonade mixed together, which has been wonderful. Sugar-free Gatorade and Powerade. Something we ended up purchasing late, ice popsicle molds. That's me burping up some of the air that I swallowed apparently when I drank. We actually ended up going to the store too to picking up some sugar-free popsicles, which I found was great because it's like, oh my God, I can chew something. Even the sensation of chewing was satisfactory, even though I was just chewing frozen water. What I did last night when we got these popsicle molds was we put three different frozen Gatorade, sugar-free Gatorade flavors in the popsicle molds. We didn't have them yet, hoping to have some today, but I'm really looking forward to the phase 2 portion where I can actually have some form of food other than just liquids. This has been a struggle. I don't know how you folks have done the whole all liquid diet for multiple weeks prior to your surgery. It was challenging to me just to get down to 2 meals of normal or somewhat normal food or solid food pre-op. God bless you to those that have dealt with having to do all liquid diets 2 to 3 weeks pre-op when you're still working with a normal body, normal metabolism, and a normal sized stomach. That's got to be really challenging. Now after post-op, I haven't felt hunger. I think I've had moments where maybe the sweeteners from the Crystal Light or something have made me think I wanted to eat, but I've never really actually felt like true hunger. Here I am post-op, 1 week out, and I'm now actually down to 307 pounds. The one thing I am concerned about at this point is muscle loss because I haven't been eating anything. I haven't been doing any working out, obviously. I have to find out from my surgeon, which I meet with in a week, as to when I get the clearance to be able to do any kind of weight training. But I have been walking at home. There have been times where I didn't feel like going outside. So we have a decently long hallway in our apartment building. And there have been times where I'll just go, even in my socks, and just walk all the way down to the hallway and walk back. And then there have been times where I just do laps around the kitchen island in our apartment just to keep moving. One thing I'm very grateful for is I have a standing desk at home in my office here, which is what I have the camera mounted on now. This has been a lifesaver as well because one thing that's been very difficult in this first week and coming home has been the pain and soreness in my belly, especially where the largest incision is. I haven't been able to bend my body, bend forward or, reach down to tie my shoelaces or pull up my pants. It's been a struggle to even just sit down. I have to do it very gently and holding on to something. And it's very, very difficult to get up out of a chair or get into bed or get out of bed. I'm grateful that we actually have these 3 bar stools that are cushioned in our kitchen. I actually brought one of those in my office here. The bar stool has been helpful because it doesn't make me sit down fully. Sitting in our couch has been difficult because it's so low to the floor, and you sink into the couch, which makes it really hard to get up afterwards. So I've done sitting at the bar stool on the island in our kitchen. Now Saturday morning, this has been the first morning where I've actually been able to get up. It still hurts, but it's nowhere near as much as it hurt the first day I got back from the hospital. Definitely progress on the pain side. My belly still is a long ways from healing. It's very bruised, especially the large incision side. It's very sensitive. I don't touch it, obviously, but I can feel that it's still very sore. It's very visibly bruised. I'm hoping and looking forward to that finishing healing. I look forward to the next week, and I'm just going to kind of keep on walking. A few people asked, why are you sharing these photos? Why are you sharing these videos? Why are you telling us everything? And I said, the one biggest thing that has helped me is watching all of these folks who have posted videos of their experience for bariatric surgery has really helped me know what to expect coming forward. And I kind of want to pay it forward to help other people who are thinking about having this surgery to know what to expect from my experience. And that's really why I want to kind of help contribute to this community. I hope my experience does help you. There has never been any real clear direction as the kind of content I post. Obviously, I'm not reaching bariatric folks or people who are considering it yet. Maybe a year from now, people might discover some of my video content here, and I do hope that it helps you. And I do hope my progress over the next year, which I will share probably not as often as I am now, but will be helpful. Another big thing that I noticed and is very important, I do have a mild sleep apnea. One concern is fluid buildup in your lungs after your surgery, and if you're laying down too much, and if you're not breathing normally, you could build up fluid in your lungs and develop pneumonia. So one of the biggest things and you've probably seen this in a few others, is this interval spirometer. The way it works is that the measurements really, my doctor said the measurements don't matter, just use it. Doesn't matter what number you hit, whatever. Do your best to breathe as deep as possible is the point. About 3 or 4 times, and I'm supposed to do this like every 10 minutes. I haven't done it nearly that often, but do your best to do it as often as you can, really. I don't think anybody can do it every 10 minutes. This basically, you breathe in, and you're supposed to let this little blue notch here float in between these 2 arrows until, you can't do it anymore, and then stop. And then do it again about 3 or 4 times. The thing that I have noticed is that I was coughing or trying to get up, I don't know, fluid in some form that seemed to have been caught in my chest post-surgery. And the more I did that, and the more that I walked, and the more I took deep breaths, the more that cleared up. And so it's a very dangerous thing, so you should be very conscious of it. Always take deep breaths. Even if I'm not using that, I do find myself reminding myself, and I'll just take a deep breath and bring it out. Because you'll notice that you do not breathe normally because of the pain and the soreness and the swelling that your body is going through. Your body will just not breathe, and you just kind of take short breaths naturally, and you're just unconsciously doing it. So you want to constantly try to, take a deep breath occasionally, and try to do it as often as possible. And I even noticed it this morning, where because I was laying down all night and sleeping, I noticed that I was wheezing a little bit, and I had something in my chest. But as soon as I got up and I took a deep breath and I used the spirometer and I cleared my chest a little bit, it helped clear it up. So definitely pay attention to that. It's very important. Another thing I want to mention about the liquid stage was that my wife has come up with this whole plate strategy with the cups, where it allows her to track how much I'm drinking. So this has been very helpful too for me. And so I carry this plate around with all the little cups, with some with protein in it, some with Crystal Light, some with water. And I have to absolutely 100,000% thank my wife, who has been above and beyond doing everything for me, and has helped me tie my shoes, pull up, put my pants on when I wasn't able to bend. She's helped me out of bed. She's set alarms so that I make sure to take my medicine. And she is taking care of me at every step of the way. And I honestly, I don't know what I would do without my wife. And so, be very lucky that you have someone that loves you as much as my wife loves me and takes care of me. So, yes, I'm getting a little emotional because she's amazing and takes absolute care of me whenever I need it, even when I don't need it. So thank you to my wife, Kim, for everything. And I hope this was helpful.